And hello, hi, and welcome back to Kasi Voyages. Yes, I'm currently in the airport, heading off to my next ship. Currently in the airport in Houston, Texas. Yes. So, if you don't know by now, I'm a personal trainer on board cruise ships. And in this video, what I'll be going through, I'll be letting you guys know how I got my job on the cruise ship and what processes you would need to take or follow to get the job on a cruise ship. So let's go. So first and foremost, you have to find your recruiter. So I got hired by One Spa World, formerly known as Steiner. You look for your recruiter in your area or your country, and then from there, once you find your recruiter, you send them an email, you pop them a message on Instagram asking them about interview dates. So I found my recruiter via Instagram, and then sent a message saying I'm interested in working on cruise ships. What steps do I need to follow next? And she sent me dates for interviews, and then bam, COVID hit. So then we had online interviews. It wasn't in person, but I believe now they are back to doing interviews in person. By the way, I'm from South Africa, so this is South African based. Yeah, so I believe they are back to doing interviews in person. Before the interview even started, she asked me to send her my passport, a copy of my passport, a full-length photo of myself, ID photo of myself, and yeah, that was it. So yes, and there's an Excel spreadsheet that they give you just for you to fill out your details, so that they can start the file for you. So I sent that through, and then the interview day came. In the interview, asked general fitness questions, muscles, movements, progression, regression, and then also what they want to see or hear is that you can speak. Working on a cruise ship as a personal trainer is a bit different in comparison to working on land. In terms of on a cruise ship, public speaking, 98% of the time it is public speaking. So they want to hear that you can speak, you can articulate yourself well, you can speak English quite well, and you know your fitness background, you know what you're talking about. So then the interview was done. Because it was an online interview, she asked me to send her a demonstration video of me doing a couple of exercises, squat, push-ups and burpees. I guess in the normal face-to-face interview you would do the demonstration like after your interview, like right there in person. Then from there, after that, she was like, okay, successful interview. Now I'll be sending you 3 emails. These 3 emails contain different documentations, contain different information on the steps that you need to follow next. So then you get email number 1, email number 2, email number 3, and then from there, with email number 3, if I'm not mistaken, is the invitation to training. So before you could even go on to the cruise ship, you need to go to the training for One Spa World, because as I said, it is public speaking. But what are you public speaking about? There are things that we are selling. It is sales that we do majority of the time, hence the public speaking. So at that training, it's a 3 weeks training, or we call it the academy. It's a 3 weeks training at the academy, which for us in South Africa is down in Cape Town. There's also an academy in London Wellness Academy. So it would depend where you are located geographically. Obviously, if you are South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, you would come to Cape Town. If you are Ireland, London, wherever, Europe, wherever, you would go to London. Okay. So for the training, the training fee for me, this was £225. So working on a cruise ship, you do need a medical check, just so that they can check if everything is okay with you, if you're healthy, if you're not sick, so that they know that you will be able to stay for those 9 months that you're on board. You won't cut your contract short because you have an operation that's coming, something like that. So yes. And then, so remember I mentioned STC, and I also mentioned the medical. Okay, so down in Cape Town, some of the guys decided to stay behind after the 3 weeks of the academy and the 2 days of the STC, of the personal safety training. Personal safety training. They decided to stay and do their medical down in Cape Town. It was convenient to stay down and do it in Cape Town because in Johannesburg we didn't have a doctor in Johannesburg. So the Durban doctor, the specific doctors that you need to go to for your medical, there's a Durban doctor and there was a Cape Town doctor. So I'm talking 2021. There was a Durban doctor and a Cape Town doctor. Durban and Cape Town, they are based there. In Johannesburg, what would happen, the Durban doctor would come up like once or twice a month to Johannesburg. So you would need to book in for a date. So email them and ask them, when is the Durban doctor coming to Johannesburg? And they're not that day, you need to make sure that you're available. Now, fast forward 2023, luckily they opened up offices in Johannesburg. So ShipMed have offices in Johannesburg. You don't need to wait for the Durban doctor to come up. Luckily, the medical does run approximately between 7.5 and 8.5. Prices went up, maybe now it's 9,000. This is the Steiner medical. With Steiner medical, you do a medical for all the cruise ships because you don't know which ship you're going to be placed on. So between 7,500 and 9,000. Then we had a package deal in terms of the STC, the visa, and the Siemens book. Those three, we had a package deal. You can do them individually. For me, it just made sense for me to do it as a package. So our package deal was running for those three. It was running at 10,350. 10,350. Yes, for those three together, which saved me a lot of hassle, especially coming to the visa side of things, because it was during COVID and there was a lot of backlog with the US Embassy for the visas. But luckily, things worked out for me quite well because of the package deal that I took. So yes, visas, you can, like I said, you can do your visa individually. With the visa, it is specific to cruise ships, so it's a C1D visa. You don't just go and get a B1 or whatever visa. It is a specific one for cruise ships, so C1D visa. With the visa process, you apply for your visa, and then once per world, they send you your letter of employment. Then you go for your interview. With your interview, you need to go with your letter of employment. You need to go with 2 ID photos, and from there, when you get to the embassy, they ask you like, where are you going? It's a bit nerve-wracking, I won't lie. Ask you where you're going, what you're going to do there, do you know anybody there? And then if you pass your interview, you get your visa, and then bam, once you have your visa, it's like, yeah, now it's getting real, now it's time to go. Once again, you start off with the interview. After the interview, you get invited to training. With your invitation to training, there's 3 emails that you're going to receive with instructions that you need to follow. One of those instructions is for you to pay for training, which is £225. And then from there, after paying for training, now you need to book your flights. If you don't live in Cape Town already, or if you don't live in London already, you need to book your flights, you need to book your accommodation, you need to get money for food. I mean, you're there for 3 weeks, you're gonna need to eat something. And then you do your medicals, with the medicals, they last for 2 years, so they expire after 2 years. So for me, I say do the medicals closer to your training date, as close as possible to your training date, so that you don't waste months with the medical just sitting there not working or not doing anything. And then after your medical, which the medical is like between 7,500 rands to 9,000 rands, after your medical you would do your STC, and then which is a 2-day course. I don't know the individual amount for the STC because, as I said, I did a package deal. You do your STC, and then after your personal safety, you would apply for your visa. Yes, you would apply for your C1D visa. Once you have your C1D visa, then you send your email back to the academy and be like, okay, I have my documentations. I send an email, I have my documentations, I'm ready to go. And then bam, they send you to the ship that is available, or the ship that you deserve from what they saw from training. Just in terms of time frame, it does take long. You don't apply on Monday and you receive your ship on a Friday. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. It does take time. I remember I applied in August. Yes, I applied in August 2021. I only got onto my ship in February 2022. So you can imagine August all the way till Feb 2022. So it does take time. So you need to be patient, and also you need to be flexible. Yes. Danko is thank you. That is how I got my job on a cruise ship. That is the process that I needed to follow. That is the amounts that I paid. To work on a cruise ship. So you need to be patient, time, and you need money. So yes, Dango is thank you. Sheesh, I'm not making noise because I'm in an airport. I don't want to get deported. So peace.